I have a lot of memories that will always continue to haunt me regarding 9/11. I truly, in my heart, believe that 9/11 could have been stopped. I was involved in many counterterrorism operations prior to 9/11. I was asking different entities in the US government about terrorists who I believed at the time they might be involved in the US call attacks. And I always was told that we don't know anything about these guys. On September 11, I was told that some of them were on the planes here in the United States, that some elements in my own government knew that they were in America, and the information was not shared with me and with my team. One of the findings was that it was a possibility if that information was shared to the FBI team investigating the USS Cole 9/11. It could have been stopped at its early stages. That's something you will live with to the rest of your life. I think if they gave us the information that people who possibly were connected to two operatives who were directly involved in the USS Cole were here in the United States, we will be on them like white on rice. We will be monitoring everything they do. We will take the whole network down. And there's no way that these individuals will be able to carry out the attacks of 9/11. "17 years after 9/11, and we still have some missing links in this investigation. We still don't know why the information about these hijackers being here in the United States, at least two of the hijackers, Khalid al-Mihdari and Nawaf al-Hazmi, why that information was not shared with us, not shared with the FBI team investigating the USS Cole, why 50-something people in the CIA read the cable about these guys being here in the United States, and they did not bother to tell State Department or the FBI or the Immigration and Naturalization Services. We still don't know why so many officials in the Saudi government were in contact with some of the hijackers, both on the West Coast and on the East Coast. We still have information that's classified by the US government about the hijackers and about the relationships with others here in the United States. And I think 17 years later, the families need to know. The American people need to know. The world need to know. You never hear of a country in the world that torture, and you see that they are an oasis of security and stability. Terrorism came out of jails of countries that torture. So what are we trying to accomplish? Are we trying to accomplish cooperation or compliance? For example, Ibn Sheikh al-Libi was tortured, and because of his torture, he provided information about Bin Laden and Saddam Hussein working together, about WMD in Iraq. That information made it to Colin Powell's speech in the UN. Colin Powell specifically mentioned Ibn Sheikh al-Libi by name, talking about the information that he provided that led to the war in Iraq. After we went to the war in Iraq and we found out that all this was a lie, they went back to Ibn Sheikh and they said, "Why did you lie?" He said, "You were torturing me." That's what you wanted to hear. And there are so many examples of people just lying and telling what they thought the investigators want to hear. Our job is not to make people tell us what we want to hear. Our job is to get the truth. I wrote about a lot of this information and how we gathered it, a lot of the intelligence and how we obtained it, a lot of the plots and how we disrupted. And some of the cases that I referenced were mentioned by the President of the United States, were mentioned by so many different leaders in the intelligence community in Washington. The fact that they redacted my book is the biggest proof that I'm saying the truth. And we did not get this information because of torture or because of the so-called enhanced interrogation techniques. "9/11 was something different. 9/11 was the biggest terrorist attack to be conducted on US land. It was something as significant as Pearl Harbor and maybe more. Because of 9/11, the US was engaged in two wars, one in Iraq and one in Afghanistan. A necessary one in Afghanistan and a totally bogus one in Iraq. And the world changed. The Middle East changed. The whole international community changed. 9/11 was a very significant moment. The world before 9/11 is not going to be similar to the world after 9/11.